77 WABC.
It was 10 days ago that Access Hollywood released that tape. I'm wondering, when you first saw it, when you first heard it, what did you think?
I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. And as you can see from the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
You feel the host, Billy Bush, was sort of egging him on?
Yes.
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 Is that language you had heard him use before?
No.
Not at all.
No, that's why I was surprised.
All right, Melania Trump claiming that Billy Bush egged on her husband, and that's why he said those gross, idiotic, stupid, whatever adjective you want to use to describe what he said. Anyway, more importantly, we're back on the Bernie and Sid show on a gorgeous Tuesday morning here in New York City on legendary 77 WABC.
Can you say Indian summer? Or
No.
is that a hate crime?
There probably is a hate crime.
It's a hate crime, right?
Phil Simms would be very upset.
Okay.
And Jim Nance.
It's just a warm autumn day.
I had this argument with my dad a couple of weeks ago. And maybe I'm crazy, but for most of my life, like Labor Day, for example, I remember Labor Day, we'd put away the beach chairs in our house in upstate New York. We'd be wearing sweatshirts and jackets. By early October, it was cold. Halloween was freezing. And I got to tell you, yes, we're 80 degrees today, but we've been in the mid-60s to low 70s right into October. I don't remember it being this warm I don't buy into global warming and all that nonsense, but there is definitely, in my lifetime, a serious climate change in the last couple of years.
Take it easy, Al Gore. It's going to go down to the 40s and 50s this weekend.
High
This
50s.
is Indian summer. It happens all the time.
Native American summer.
You're another idiot. You agree with that. It doesn't happen all the time. You're not in the mid-70s right through October.
We have always had these warm spells in the middle of October.
Warm spells, yes, for a couple of days, but not consistently. 68, 71, 67.
It was cold the last couple of weeks.
Cold?
Yes. It was cold. In fact, you were killing Bill Evans on the air.
One morning was 58 degrees.
Okay, thank you.
Hardly cold.
No, the facts don't fit your stupid narrative.
They don't?
No.
So you're telling me it's been like this?
What's new?
Right. So you're telling me that forever it's been mid-60s, low 70s, right through November. Forever.
With the exception of a couple of Indian summer days.
Native American.
Yes.
No.
That's right.
No.
But plus,
it's warmer. No, the facts do fit my story because the facts do say that there is a climate difference. I don't buy it.
You know what? It might be maybe there is some climate change. If you want to talk seriously about climate change.
I don't. I just know that
the world, maybe the Earth is warming up. The question about climate change is whether it's man-made.
Right.
And if it is man-made, should we just unilaterally restrict our own production to try to stop it while the rest of the world continues to pollute everything? And we that's the argument. I want to get into it. Okay.
I don't. I know Barack Obama, that's his legacy and blah, blah, blah. All I'm telling you is from not that long ago, most of my adult life, there is a noticeable difference for the everyday temperatures through November than it was when I was a kid.
As a matter of fact, I recall back in the 70s, it snowed a lot more. It was freezing most of the winter, as a matter of fact.
Freezing.
And
in the fall.
In fact, Time magazine back then, they talked about the global cooling.
That's exactly right.
They had a cover. So now we have a little bit of a warming trend. It's cyclical. It is cyclical.
Okay.
So I wouldn't panic.
Like Indian summer to me, for example, Bernard, you'll remember this. One of our final tryout shows together, before they got smart and hired us, best move they've made in a long time, was Christmas Eve. It was 74 degrees.
That was weird.
That's Indian summer. But when you're going from 67 to 73 to 80, that's not Indian summer. Because we've been consistently in the 60s and 70s anyway. But 74 on Christmas Eve, that was Indian summer. Does that make sense?
No, that's the nuclear winter. That's a native summer.
Yeah, that was...
That was crazy.
That was an anomaly. That was just something weird.
Yeah.
But you'll do anything to avoid talking about Hillary Clinton's this FBI report.
I don't care.
This quid pro quo.
You can talk about it all you want.
No, actually,
no,
I know you don't.
No, I'm very angry about it today. This latest one really, like today. No, I'm not going to vote for her. That's it.
Yeah, no, I got you. I knew what your position was, but
missionary.
The one thing I would say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Doggy.
That's boring.
Definitely doggy.
No, doggy's my
okay,
favorite.
Now
Doggy's my favorite.
You spoke too soon, didn't you?
No, I'll take it any way I can get it. Doggy's my favorite, but I'll take it any way I can get it. What's your favorite?
Well,
should I ask Kubi?
You know, you beat me to it.
She's on fire.
Look, listen. I don't want to talk about my sexual positions right now.
Why not?
I know my daughter is listening. She's on her way back to Portland. Yes.
Oh.
All right.
Take it back.
How Trumpian of you.
She's in a car. She's on her way back to Cortland. She had, speaking of fall, she had a couple of fall days off, Monday and Tuesday. So I don't want to talk to you about this type of talk.
Your
Let's
daughter's
try to keep it on the up and up.
Sweet kid, smart. How come my kids are listening? You don't care if we talk about masturbation?
Hi, Melanie. I love you, Melanie, because you bring it up.
Text your daughter right now and say, Melanie, would you rather Sid and I talk about Clinton and Trump?
No, I'm not.
Or what sexual positions me and Mommy tend to like?
Shut up, will you? Shut up.
Mommy.
Christ.
Does she call you Dad, Daddy?
Of course. No, she calls me Bernard. She calls me Mr. McGurk.
No, I'm serious, because my kids call me Daddy. Daddy, not Dad, Daddy. What do they call? What does your kid call you?
They call me Daddy.
Okay.
How do you guys get this respect? My kid doesn't call me Daddy.
What does he call you?
Fatso.
Yeah, well.
Crash.
Like everybody else, I guess.
That's when they're being nice. There's two of them.
So what is the latest? Seriously, what is the latest horrible Hillary Clinton?
The horrible thing, the one thing is that she's just not a nice person.
No.
I mean, there's nothing earth-shattering.
She has hate in her heart. Did Donald Trump say she has hate in her heart?
She has hate in her heart. Let me tell you. No, but this is actually FBI agents who says that she is a loathsome person. She was Clinton's treatment of State Department agents on her protective detail was so contemptuous. Nobody wanted to work for her. Senior agents. They said it was a prestigious thing to be protecting the Secretary of State. Nobody wanted to do it. So I guess that's the upshot. There's nothing's going to change anybody's mind. You're right about that. Right. Listen. Everybody is writing the post-mortem for the Trump campaign.
As they should.
Michael Goodwin this morning on the Imus in the Morning show, he's talking about, listen, it's over, and it's all because Trump can't discipline himself.
That's right. Which is exactly, by the way, what Dick Morris said yesterday, too.
That's true. But now, listen.
His own supporters are blaming him, which is nice to hear. Not rigged elections, not the polling and all that nonsense. And his own big supporters are blaming him.
Including the editorial page of the New York Post, the headline of their editorial, Rigged Schmigged. And they say that if Trump loses, he'll have only himself to blame for telling, and they list three things, for telling three different campaign managers that no, they couldn't dig into his past to prepare for these ugly stories that might break later on.
Is that true?
That's what they say.
So it would have been Lewandowski, Manafort, and Bannon. Okay.
In other words, that they didn't anticipate these things coming out, for refusing to build a solid campaign organization to get out of his voters, and for wasting whole weeks on pointless fights with people not named Clinton, diverting attention from Clinton scandals.
I agree. And I've said that, listen, for all my criticism and hatred, all that nonsense, I bashed her when it was appropriate, and I bashed him. And I've said a long time now, Bernard, that this is just not the way to go about this thing. It's just not.
And yet he is still competitive in a whole hell of a lot of swing states.
Not really. Not really. He's losing Utah, Alaska, Georgia. I mean, a lot of these red states that are now purple and although they're becoming blue, I'm telling you, he's going to get killed. It's not going to be that close.
That's the way it's looking. That's the way it is looking. And it's been... it's been a thrilling, invigorating, fun ride with Mr. Trump. I must tell you, refreshing. He took
at times refreshing in that in our job we weren't kind of bogged down with the everyday boredom.
Yeah.
But what you deem refreshing, some of it has really been something idiotic and gross.
Took on the forces of political correctness, looked them square in the face and punched it. And he attacked that greedy liar, crooked Hillary, like nobody else has. Confronted her with a bunch of stuff.
Did nothing.
It's been great. It's been great.
He attacked her. She's kicking his ass every single day.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He has one last shot. It's tomorrow night to keep this thing alive. And even then, it's going to be a long shot.
No.
And I'm not willing to throw in the towel. I don't want to be the last fool standing. But I'm not abandoning Mr. Trump yet.
But wait a second.
If he puts in a good performance, and if Putin releases some of these emails, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to be on it. First of all, you have one email where her campaign manager, Robbie Mook,
Can't stand
this
him, by the
idiot,
way.
he's telling her not to mention Israel. And this just came out today in one of the WikiLeaks thing. Do not mention Israel in any of your public comments. This is while she was campaigning as a Democrat. Don't mention the word Israel. I mean, if you have something... That's not enough, but if you have more inflammatory,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
You have that sick John Podesta wishing that it was not, it was a white guy that
instead of a Syrian
committed a massacre. I mean, that's the way you're thinking of a massacre in political terms. You son of a bitch. Now, if you have something that directly links her to saying stuff like that,
it won't matter.
Well, she did delete a whole hell of a lot of emails for some reason.
So we've known that for a year.
No, we haven't seen the emails. That's why I'm keeping I'm keeping hope alive.
You should keep hope alive. You've been with them from day one. You're not a stupid guy. You may be the smartest guy I know. I know if I put a gun to your head and said, you die right now if you get the election wrong, you're going to tell me Trump is going to get murdered. I know that. But, of course, you're going to stick with the guy. I've been with him from day one. But as I said to Dick Morris yesterday, and I've been very consistent about this, I don't care what they come out with. I don't care if they've got an email from Clinton to Putin. It ain't going to change things. He's not going to win the debate tomorrow night. If he does, he's not going to win by a big enough margin. Truth is, by the way, Bernard, where this whole election hit the iceberg, if you want to use the Titanic, Steve Schmidt did this morning, it hit the iceberg after that first debate. He got humiliated after that first debate. Not long after that, all these tapes came out. He's never come back.
Yeah,
Since then, the ship has been sinking after hitting the iceberg.
They didn't come out by accident. I mean, obviously coordinated, orchestrated with the media and all that stuff. Now, one guy who is not a foxhole friend is Chris Christie. That he's a fat fool. He's a rat jumping off the ship. Listen to him talk about Trump.
I'm supporting Donald. That's what I've said before. I also was very clear on Tuesday about the comments on the Billy Bush video and that I wouldn't defend them, can't defend them, and that I thought that his apology was inadequate.
So clearly,
we actually had the apology that he made on radio last week. We played it for you moments after. I think what's happening here, whether it's a Paul Ryan or a Chris Christie, if any of these guys, Bernard, have any designs on a future in politics, specifically with the GOP party, they've come to the crashing realization Trump has no chance. And to stick with them at this point is not going to aid them later on during their political careers. So like cowards, I agree, they're jumping off the sinking ship.
I submit that it will actually hurt them. As it may hurt Paul Ryan, the rest of these guys, I think it will hurt Chris Christie. That at a moment when your guy is down, you kick him in the face. You kick him when he's down, essentially. The guy that you stuck with all these months, you stick with him for 3 more weeks. Fight it out.
But don't you
fight to the end?
I'm with you, but you're never going to admit this because you love the guy, and I love the guy too. I'll never forget what he did for our city, obviously. But Rudy Giuliani's become a clown. He's a clown.
In your estimation.
Yes.
But not in my estimation.
Okay.
He's become a very able, very defender, a great advocate for Trump, and a great defender.
Clown. Too over the top.
Say it 10 times. Clown.
I'll say it again. I'll say it 15 times.
Clown.
He's a clown. He's a cartoon figure. He went from America's mayor and the bravest guy I know during the worst tragedy in the history of this country to a cartoon character.
He's a loyal guy.
Oh,
a loyal guy who sees the truth. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77 WABC Traffic. Bernie and Sid, 2 brains, 1 show.
Guaranteed to be enormously successful.
77 WABC.
The following information comes straight from Pew Research. Quote, approximately 24 million people, 1 of every 8, voter registrations in the United States are no longer valid or significantly inaccurate. 1 in 8. More than 1.8 million deceased individuals right now are listed as voters. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, if they're going to vote for me, we'll think about it, right? But I have a feeling they're not going to vote for me.
No, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. He needs to stop with that, too, and enough of that. My God.
We could use some...
Sounds stupid.
Dead votes.
Hey, listen, a vote's a vote, right? What do you care?
Exactly. I'm all over it. I'm for it.
You're all
Let's
for
do
it?
Yeah.
But I did see something last night that is even more pathetic and tougher to watch than Donald Trump on a debate stage. I saw it. I've seen it. It's the Jets.
You looked at what?
I mean, wow. They got to fire the coach, get a new quarterback, and again, last year when Rex Ryan, when they got rid of him, he went to Buffalo, and the Jets won like the first couple of games, the Jet fans in New York are like, oh, this guy's a better coach. See, this guy's a better coach. And a year later, he may be the worst coach in football.
Bring Rexy back.
Get sexy Rex. Bring anybody back. Get Tom Coughlin to coach the Jets. He's in New Jersey.
Why not?
That's your guy.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear this about the Jets. I missed the game last night.
You're not sorry. You stop.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Were you a Jet fan growing up as a kid?
1 and 5. Of course, yes. I'm a Jets, Mets, Knicks, and Rangers guy.
Did you have a Joe Namath poster in your bedroom?
No.
Did you have a Farrah Fawcett?
No posters, no nothing.
What?
No,
what a horrible childhood you had. Terrible. I had Heather Thomas, Farrah Fawcett, and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on my wall. And
I had bullet holes on my wall. What the hell are you talking about? Farrah Fawcett.
What were the posters hiding is what I want to know.
You didn't have the with the nipple hanging out, the Farrah Fawcett one?
I know what you're talking
about.
You
didn't have that?
No, this stuff is, as the kids would say, I won't even say it.
Did you have walls in your house?
I told you I had walls with freaking the paint chips falling off and bullet holes. I mean, it wasn't easy.
Did you have a TV?
Up in the BX. We had a black and white TV. Yeah.
9-inch? You had the UHF, the rabbit ears, right? You're watching porn on...
No porn. No, I wish. But no, we had the black and white TV with the...
Only one.
With the rabbit ears.
Only one.
Eventually, we acquired another one, yes.
Really? Because sometimes when you talk, I think you make...
Patches.
I think you exaggerate sometimes, but it was really that bad?
Just call me Patches McGurk. That's what it was like, man. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after Norm with the news.
77 WABC. News now.
Republicans hope on 77 WABC, where New York comes to talk.
Bernie and Sid on demand.
You never know what's going to happen.
The WABC radio app. Download it now. Upload the BS. 77 WABC.
Yes. Sounds of baseball. Cleveland Indians, by the way, have a chance to sweep the Toronto Blue Jays this afternoon and win the American League pennant. And the Cubs and Dodgers will play Game 3 of that series, now tied at 1 game apiece, from Los Angeles later on tonight. And that brings us to a guest, Guns, who does a great job with sports on IMS, happened to be interviewing this man who was a great player, over 300 career home runs between the Red Sox, the Angels, spent a couple of seasons, memorable seasons here in New York with the Mets.
Not good.
One of the more lovable guys. You said not good one, not me. Mo Vaughn. What's going on, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
Good. How you guys doing? Welcome. Thank you.
Good to have you. Mo Vaughn was Big Papi before Big Papi was
the
Big Papi.
The original Big Papi in
That's
Boston.
Right. No doubt about it.
Yeah, he was. I think what he's turned into has been great. It's been great for the Red Sox. The fact that he's brought them, 4 world champions. He took the bull by the horns and really went up there and did what he had to do. So I'm very, very proud of him. I knew him when he was with the Twins. He wasn't playing at all. But for him to really turn it out and lay it down like he did for Boston is pretty cool.
It was fantastic, yeah. And they really the city embraced him like no other. I think
as they should. Look, you could talk Brady, you could talk Bird, you could talk Bobby Orr, you could talk David Ortiz, you could talk. He's in. He sits at that table now.
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams, right?
Ted Williams.
Call Yastrzemski.
He sits at the table with all those.
But you had like a great decade there too. When you go back, are they nice to you in Boston, or they moved on to the David Ortizes and the Manny Ramirez's of the world?
Listen, great ownership. If you're a Yankee fan, Steinbrenner, you want to win. They went out, got the players to win. Now, they got great ownership. They go out, they get the ball players, they're into winning. And also, they're very good now with bringing the guys back. So when I go back, it's a nice time.
They're nice to you.
They're very nice.
Now, you said just now, I remember I was working on the fan, as was Bernard, when Steve Phillips was the GM. And one off season, they got Roberto Alomar, they got you, they got Jeremy Burnitz, they got Glavine. I go, they're going to win the World Series. I made the mistake of giving Steve Phillips GM of the Year in spring training in March. Right. You just said didn't go all that well with the Mets.
Listen, sometimes, things come together and you think that everything looks good on paper. It just never gelled for us. And I personally just, didn't produce like I wanted to. Listen, I'm from Connecticut. I went to school and went to high school up in Trinity Palling, upstate New York. I went to college over in Seton Hall.
Yeah.
This was not how I wanted to end. But things happen, man.
That's right.
Very, very lucky, to be doing some other things.
Speaking of which, you're a very dapper guy, Mo Vaughn.
He
right
looks
here
beautiful.
in Bernie. It's very dapper, and you run a MVPcollections.com.
MVP Collections is a line for bigger guys. Just trying to give the bigger guy an opportunity to have, a nice lifestyle look. Why can't we have, the nice, the nice denim, the nice button downs, it's just that what I was trying to produce. It came about because I was the customer going out and looking. I said, why not try to put this thing together and see what happens? So, it's big, and we've been on e-com now for 9 weeks. The biggest thing with that, listen, I don't do this whole social media, so I'm learning about that whole process.
Right.
But that's to let the customer dial in, figure out what we need, what we need to hit the bullseye and make the line better, and that's where we are right now. But hopefully it's going well.
MVPcollections.com. Now, speaking of which, Mo Vaughn, you're a big guy. We talked about Big Papi and also Bartolo Colon at 43 years old. I love to see the big guys doing well. I mean, the hefty guys.
Listen, it's great. I don't know if he's going to pitch again. But the fact that he's still out there, I mean, I remember when he was throwing 95 plus in Cleveland. And now he's still doing it a different way. That's where the maturity goes.
He's going to pitch again. He's got no choice. I think they just found a third family.
He's got some child support.
I love it. He's my favorite Cologne. Don't get me wrong. All right. So big guys wear your clothing. Donald Trump. Is he big enough? Is he not big enough? Is Donald Trump a potential buyer of the Mo Vaughn line?
Oh, he's got the right size.
He does have the right size.
No doubt about it. He's got the right size.
You like him?
He's got the heft.
What do you think about Trump?
Listen,
you're a New York guy. I mean, you grew up in Connecticut. You played for the Mets. I mean, do you like Donald Trump?
Listen, I don't really get into the politics of it.
Smart.
I just want to say, one thing, though, is that, listen, the clubhouses are clubhouses. Are clubhouses PG?
Right.
No.
They're not.
They're rated R.
So LeBron James said guys don't talk like that.
They're rated R. No doubt about this stuff that happens. Listen, you got your little pockets of things happening, but to claim that the way this goes on the clubhouse, I disagree 100%.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I disagree. Listen, when I was coming up, you had women reporters it's not as free opening and spirited as everybody proclaims it to be. You know what I mean? You got to watch yourself. Oh,
I remember. Right. You remember? Yeah. But you remember Lisa Olson? She worked for the Daily News.
Of course, yeah.
She went into the Patriot locker room and Zeke Mowat's penis was right there. It was a big. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. It's a different area. It's a different area. It's not like a boys' club. But there's people, there's women, there's kids around. It's not just like you're throwing insults. Across the locker room anymore. Right. It doesn't happen.
So it's not locker room talk. But do athletes still walk around buck naked in front of female reporters?
You got your crazy guys.
Come on, dog.
Put
a towel on,
What are we doing here?
Come on, man. Have a little respect for the ladies.
What are we doing here?
No, I don't think. No, they're not allowed to be in the locker room anymore, right? They changed that, right, Mo?
Well, listen. When I was there,
yeah.
Listen. People. The girls from ESPN would come over, and work for the different networks.
Right.
So it wasn't, to say that it's just like this is how we roll every day in the locker room.
Not true.
Completely false.
Not true.
You can't rock like that.
All right, so I know you're busy. You got another spot to go to. So one more time, Mo Vaughn, the great Red Sox angel, New York Met, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I loved you when you played here. We covered you on a daily basis. For people that want to get your clothing, the best way to get it is to go where?
Listen, we're MVPcollections.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter. And at MVP, at Mo Vaughn _42. That's at Mo Vaughn _42. Listen, we need everybody to let us know what they feel, how they feel. We're building this thing by e-com, so all your information is needed, and we're going to try to bring the style to you.
Are you going to get into the Hall of Fame?
No,
it's not going to happen.
Nah, don't have enough.
Those Nazi
I needed some more years. I didn't get them, but listen, my friends get in. It's good.
I'll tell you what, you have a great life. You're happy. That's
exactly. Very happy.
And you look great, man. That's
I appreciate it.
Bottom line.
Mo
Vaughn. All right, bro.
$1 million.
Here on the Bernie and Sid Show on 77 WABC. Back after this.
Wait to see.
Words, they were offensive to me, and they were inappropriate. And he apologized to me, and I accept his apology, and we are moving on.
What more can you ask for? Melania Trump on the Bernie and Sid Show on 77 WABC.
I would ask her not to talk if I was her husband. I'd say, honey, just stay home. I'm begging you, please.
I think she's one of his best assets.
Oh, stop it.
Him and she and Ivanka.
She's awful. Ivanka's
awful
fine.
in what regard?
I
don't even want to. Don't even answer.
She doesn't speak the language well enough, buddy. She just
speaks
doesn't.
5 languages.
Not English is not one of them.
Try English. So she said inappropriate instead of, look, she speaks, you try speaking Romanian or whatever the hell she is.
I wouldn't try. That's the whole point. Those are your great instincts all over again. She's gorgeous. Let her stand there behind him like the WWE wrestling picture every single debate, and don't talk.
She's got a great asset.
She's got a great asset, is right, and it ain't her mouth.
She is a good asset.
She's there to distract Bill during the debates. It's a useful purpose.
She needs to be quiet. She sounds like an idiot. Billy Bush egged him on. I mean, be quiet. I know you love your husband. You're sticking with him. That's very, very honorable. Just be quiet. Just stand there.
At least she's not bullying the victims and trying to smear them and threaten them. Right. I mean, she's a class act. She's not a little sneaky little thief.
Right.
With
she's also going to be
Tanya Harding.
She's also going to be a loser. In about 21 days.
Well, you know what? It's probably a blessing.
It probably is. You're right. Who would want this job anyway?
So you let's just assume it's going to be Hillary Clinton. Do you realize that everybody is going to turn on her?
Who?
It's going to be everybody, including the media and all the lefty Bernie Sanders supporters. They're all going to. It's going to be the ugliest 4 years.
You think so?
Because she's such a liar. She's pandering. She's saying a bunch of crap to people.
Right.
You don't know where the hell she stands. She's going to disappoint everybody. And all this illegality, she may be impeached. They may have impeachment proceedings early on.
I'm begging you to
It's going to be a disaster.
It may be a disaster. So she's going to be a one-term president. I don't disagree.
She's going to try to wag the dog by starting a war with Russia or somebody.
What is the GOP's answer in 4 years? Because she's already all these horrible things you're talking about, and your moronic candidate can't beat her. In fact, he's going to get destroyed. So what is the answer after her horrible 4 years, which you may be right? What's the answer?
No question about it.
So what's the answer?
What do I? 4 years from now, I'm not throwing in the towel just yet. I'm just hypothetically talking about
because you're a supporter and you're being loyal.
4 years
you're being
from
silly. It's over.
I have no.
What about Tom Cotton? You like Tom Cotton?
I do like Tom Cotton.
Maybe he could be the guy. Maybe Peter King.
Peter King may be a little bit. I don't think we've ever had besides Abraham Lincoln, a congressman go from the House of Representatives to the Oval Office.
Never have.
Abe Lincoln was, I think, the only one. But so Peter King, first of all, he's a little old. But Tom Cotton, whatever it is. Did we
ever have anybody go from a reality television show to the, let's be honest, I mean, I know Reagan did act, but he was the governor of California.
Things have gotten so bad with the establishment, elitist, bought and paid for politicians that we had to actually reduce ourselves, if you want to put it that way, to a charismatic, successful businessman. Yes.
It should have been more
also, granted, a reality TV show star with a flair. And, he imploded in the end. Who knew about these allegations that were going to come out? Who knew? The Democrats knew. They waited until the last minute, and they used it very skillfully.
I got to tell you, I think you're putting way too much on the Billy Bush video and all that. I think he lost the election that first debate. It was over. It became evidently clear to everybody that the way he won the primary and vanquished those 16 people, he wasn't ready for the next level. That night it became very clear.
And then we had the second debate, and it disproved what you just said.
No, it didn't.
He did a very good job.
No, that's in your opinion. He did a lousy job, but you qualify it because his campaign didn't die.
I will grant you that. That is my opinion.
He will do a lousy job tomorrow night, too. Win or lose, because he just can't debate.
It's his last hope. It's that and maybe Putin releasing some emails. Bernie and Sid, 1-800-848-9222. Back in
77 WABC.
Our goal tonight is simple. We have to raise more money than Donald Trump lost in 1995. He is going a little crazy. He's going a little nuts, as we know. To me, he's like a 7-Eleven. He's open 24 hours, and he's trying to sell us crap that we don't want. The debate last week, he's stalking Hillary like he's Jason in the Friday the 13th movie. It was the first time the Secret Service had to wrestle a candidate to the ground.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. That was Billy Crystal dying last night at a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton on Broadway that people paid, $100,000 a piece to get into?
Some people paid $100,000. That's right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They were some of them made for the doors like Usain Bolt at the Olympics. It was so bad. I mean, you had Sarah Jessica Parker. I think she got trampled as people were running out.
It wasn't great. He had a couple of better lines, though, that Noam actually played on the news hour this morning at like 5:30 a.m. I was waiting for the bus. I heard some decent lines.
Let's try this one. Take a listen.
To me, he's the anti-JFK. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what my country can do for me. In real life, I really think he's a human form of the hurricane season. Think about it. It starts out with a lot of hot air. You watch it spinning out of control. It hits America, causes a lot of damage and panic, but it's completely over by November.
Hilarious.
Not funny at all.
Oh, you're
just terrible. He's got the last name of a hooker, too.
Very funny.
He's one of my Long Beach, fellow Long Beach.
Oh, that's right.
He's not my homeboy because I'm not from there, but he grew up in Long Beach and was very benevolent to the city after the Hurricane Sandy disaster. He's a good guy, but clearly his hatred for Trump, like Sid, gets in the way of his sense of humor.
I thought it was actually very funny. And I'll tell you somebody else who hates Donald Trump, who had me laughing out loud on the train this morning when you played his stuff on Imus earlier today, and that's Barack Obama. I thought he was hilarious last night.
I don't know Sid's sense of humor. I'm starting to. Okay, so let's listen to it.
Right.
Here's Colbert with Obama. He said he's conducting a mock job interview. Is Stephen Colbert?
Right, there's like 3 different jokes. Can we stop it at each one and get a laugh meter from Noam? Because I think all 3 are funny.
All right.
Let's hear it. Good.
Now, sir, because we are on a network television show, I cannot allow you to endorse a candidate right now, but I would like to ask you about your choice of snacks. Could I do that?
Sure.
All right, great. I have 2 choices for you here. Would you care for an extra fiber nutrient bar, which has traveled to more than 100 countries, or this shriveled tangerine covered in golden retriever hair, filled with bile that I wouldn't leave alone with a woman I love?
Well, I think I'll go with the fiber nutrient bar.
Interesting. Okay.
Wait a second.
That's funny.
My sides.
What are you doing?
My sides.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
No, you hold on.
That's hysterical.
Let me just tell you.
That's not what you played this
Let me
morning.
just tell you something.
What are you doing?
That happened last night.
Okay, fine, but where's the funny stuff you played this morning?
How is that funny, though? There's 25 writers.
That is not funny.
It's
But where's the... Well, listen, for every 10 things that Donald Trump says, 9 out of 10 aren't funny, and you giggle like a bunch of hyenas.
Donald Trump doesn't have 25
Give
comedy
me the
writers.
funny
Hold
stuff.
on a second.
All
I'll
right.
get to it. But I wanted to point out the lame crap.
You're a jerk.
Hey, by the way, James Corden is not Stephen Colbert's looking over his shoulders. That fat kid who sings in the cars with people.
Yeah.
He's going to be on 11:30, guaranteed. I would make a prediction. Maybe by the end of the year, Stephen Colbert is out. He's got no ratings.
His ratings are terrible.
He's lost
He's not
all
funny.
Letterman's. He's
No,
not
he's
funny.
terrible.
He sucks, and he lets his agenda get in the way of
They're
his
actually
humor.
bringing him on live after the debate tomorrow night on CBS. Stephen
Why?
Colbert.
What's the point?
I have no idea. I don't like him either. I'm with you.
I guess
But where's the fun? There was funny. Where's
Okay,
the funny?
It got funnier than that?
It's funny.
You
Trust me.
couldn't help it get any funnier.
I'm
Get any
listening to
funnier.
that. I'm going, what are you doing?
What is he doing is the question.
Give me the funny stuff.
This ain't funny, but take a listen.
Hello, Mr. Obama. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Close enough.
Okay. Do you have any awards or commendations?
Well, I have almost 30 honorary degrees, and I did get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, really? What was that for?
To be honest, I still don't know.
Okay, good. All right.
That's
And
funny.
have you ever had to fire anyone?
No, I usually let SEAL Team 6 handle that.
Okay, outsourcing. Okay, good. Now, social media, very hot. Do you have any experience with that, like Twitter?
Well, I have 77 million followers. Does that count?
That's very impressive. How'd you get so many?
Executive order.
Really?
Listen.
Come on, it's good.
That's fake laughter. You got it. Obama's good.
All right.
You have to admit Obama is good and
Right.
He can deliver a joke. Yeah, he can. But
And
those weren't.
he proved it at all these White House
He
correspondents.
was
dinners.
great there. Yeah.
He's good, but Colbert sucks.
Well, I hate Colbert too. Hate him.
Horrendous.
But do I like the fat kid Corden? Do I like him?
No, he's not funny either.
I don't particularly care for the fat kid, but he's the next wave. In fact,
I don't know,
he's breathing down Jimmy Fallon's neck. Although they're on different networks.
Different networks.
But Fallon is still feeling the James Corden. He's got this thing where he sits in a car and he sings.
Car
with-
karaoke.
That's different. That is funny. He gets Michelle Obama. He gets like the biggest
I know,
stars
right,
in the
right.
country.
But that's like-
But his actual. Let's put it this way. I heard him on Stern. I didn't laugh, and that's bad. If you go on that show and you're on for an hour and you don't laugh once, that's a bad job. And it kept saying, "Who is this guy? Why is this guy on?"
And yet he's funnier than Stephen Colbert.
I would agree with that.
Go figure.
Yeah. Well, Colbert was a horrible choice. God. Who else was in the running? Do you remember who else was in the running?
You had another loser, Amy Schumer, who, by the way,
to replace Letterman?
She did a show in Tampa, I think it was 2 days ago, and she was up there calling Trump an orange anus or whatever the hell, and a couple of hundred people got up and walked out. I mean, these people, they lose their sense of humor.
That's too easy.
They put their agenda ahead of their comedy.
That's the problem.
And it hurts. Yeah. And that's what Colbert does.
Yep. Well, you got to be careful. In fact, you talked about this morning when I brought up Bo Dietl, for example, and he said, "Hey, Bo yesterday was not endorsing Donald Trump," and you said, "Well, he's running for mayor in 2017. He'd like to get a few Democrats to vote for him."
Yeah, well, Bo Dietl is he's going to be a politician. He's already acting like a politician, so he's hedging his bets as far as Trump is concerned.
But it's the same thing with the TV guys. You know, when, for example, I used to get yelled at FAN for bringing up politics because they want Met fans and Yankee fans and Giant fans, whether the Democrats or Republicans. They don't want only Republican Giant fans listening. They want everybody. And if, God forbid, you make one comment, the next thing you know, you're deemed that guy. You lose listeners.
You have to go for the joke. You have to go for funny. And you have to be even-handed about it. You can't just focus on one person, which is what they do, to the detriment of their actual profession. Because you look at Saturday Night Live, that weekend update segment, that they basically lecture you about what a creep Trump is for 15 minutes.
It's great last week.
It was horrible. Don't even say that because I'll get the tapes. Believe me, I sit through this crap because it's my job, and it's horrendous.
But the opening was funny.
The opening was good. Was very good. I'm talking about the weekend update where you got these two losers
completely naked on the floor, tickling my belly button. Oh, beautiful.
Funny how.
Sometimes I laugh so hard I fart and sneeze at the same time. It's
very appealing. Very appealing.
Great.
I will say this, Sid, to your credit. O'Reilly also was on last night with Stephen Colbert, and Colbert asked the same question, and Noam's leaving us now. All right.
See you, Noam.
Be like that.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go.
You never walked out with a round.
If that's your way of saying that you want me to stay, I'll stay.
No, get out.
Don't forget. I thought you were done. You look like you were moving on to something
We
else.
are moving on.
Go get your freaking shine box and then come back.
I'm not leaving now. I'm going to stay right here the rest of the show.
So, Colbert.
Go get Geraldo's suntan lotion out of my office, will you?
Yeah, right.
It smells like copper tone in there for 15 years. Jesus.
And your knee pads, too.
Go home and get your shine box.
They were well worn. Yeah.
So Colbert asked O'Reilly the same question verbatim?
Exact same question. Remember,
really?
O'Reilly, he indicated that 3 major media outlets ordered their reporters to only print or publish negative stories about Donald Trump. You asked O'Reilly that.
Well, it was in the Washington Post the day before O'Reilly joined us, which was exactly a week ago today.
And so Colbert asked him last night, and listen to O'Reilly snap at Colbert.
On your show, you said there are at least 3 media organizations who have ordered employees to destroy Trump.
Yes.
Who are these 3 media organizations?
I told the person that asked me that question that I wouldn't say because the people who told me will not come and say who they are. They're anonymous sources. I don't use anonymous
But you said that it's happening, but you don't support it with any...
No, and I don't care whether you believe me or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything.
Of course we believe you. You're Bill O'Reilly.
Thank you.
Bill saw where it was going. He was about to say, he was essentially implying that Bill's a liar or something, and Bill was like, I don't care if you believe me, punk.
It didn't get that nasty with me and Bill last week. Yeah, Colbert backed off.
It did not get nasty. But to your credit.
Well, talking about Bill O'Reilly, for the Bernie and Sit fans out there, later on tonight, talking about timing, tonight, Bernard McGurk on the Bill O'Reilly Show.
Yes, I'll be there, and I'll be all up in his mush.
In fact, you've got a big week coming up on Fox. You've got the Bill O'Reilly Show tonight, and then on with our dear buddy Jesse Waters, Waters World, coming up on Saturday.
Is that this Saturday?
Yes.
October 22nd.
That is this Saturday.
You're right.
O'Reilly tonight and Waters World Saturday.
Waters, my boy Waters.
You're the new Roger Ailes. Well, maybe not.
Wait a second. Take it easy now. Take it easy. Listen, I still love Roger Ailes. I don't care what any of these people say.
Absolutely.
And all of them, speaking of...
And let me tell you something.
Some names we mentioned here just in this past segment who are jumping ship and throwing him under the bus disgracefully. I think the guy, whatever he did, he still changed the landscape.
Totally agree.
The media landscape, and he's a brilliant visionary is what he is.
Totally agree. And he's been a huge asset for the Trump campaign.
Coming up next, Bernie at 10 p.m.
1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77 WABC. Get truth. 77 WABC.
If you a champion female in this building, if can't no weak ass clown ass bring you the down, make some noise. But it's all okay, cause Barack needed a Michelle, bitch, and Bill needed a Hillary, bitch. You better pray to God you don't get stuck with a Melania.
Yeah, keeping it classy. Back on Bernie and Sid.
Keeping it classy.
On WABC, that was, Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, she's gross.
She was in Brooklyn 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And that's what she calls, but she called Melania brainless. Brainless Melania. And they called her a bitch, obviously. Just
don't
heard
do that. Don't do that. She
mean,
shouldn't talk, but don't do that.
That's not nice, right?
No. It's probably not nice for me to say she shouldn't talk, but she shouldn't talk. But I wouldn't call her those words. I mean, that's horrible.
It's horrible, right? And she was at the White House.
Who was?
This Nicki Minaj.
Of course she was.
She's like she's on TV tapping her private parts.
That big stinky fat ass of hers.
Objectifying her body.
She's
and,
gross.
You had Michelle Obama out there this week saying, this is horrible. Objectifying women's bodies is not what we should be doing. And
Are you calling
yet
Michelle
she was at the White
Obama
House.
a hypocrite?
Am I?
Yes.
Hey, listen. If the yoga pants fit.
See what you did? I don't know. I just feel like every politician is a hypocrite.
Disgusting.
Every politician's corrupt. I'm sorry. I get less and less upset with every email that comes out. With every, come on.
If you had Taylor Swift calling, Michelle Obama a brainless bitch.
Well, that's different. That's racist.
I can't see Taylor Swift doing that.
But Nicki, that's my point. But Nicki Minaj, and it's all good.
So
and she's at the White House.
So you're saying there's hypocrisy and a double standard. I got to get out of this country.
Hey, Gary from Queens.
This doesn't happen in Tel Aviv.
Gary, you're on with Bernie and Sid.
Good afternoon, guys. A fast comment. Nicki Minaj at the White House. That should be White Castle. That's one. Fourth, Sid, you found Donald Trump's second interview. You thought he lost it?
Second interview or second debate?
Excuse me, second debate.
No, I don't think he lost. I think he afforded himself much better than the first debate, but I don't think he could ever really beat her ever at any time on the issue. So he had the cute Abe Lincoln line. He had the cute in jail line. But if it was left to just the issues, he will never beat her. 10 out of 10 times he will lose. So I thought his performance was overrated by his supporters in the second debate. And by the way, the polls did not say that he did better because he actually went backwards.
Well, he would beat her on the issues if the issues came up. If he brought them up on open borders, on not being vigilant about Muslim immigration, et cetera, America first, blah blah blah.
Well, he's got a better chance.
He's right on the issues, so he's got to bring them up. But this open borders thing, her saying, "I dream of hemispheric open borders in this country." I mean. Our version of Angela Merkel, that's a winner for him. He's got to get that out there. He's got to talk about that. But as the New York Post and others are pointing out, he's mired in this rigged election stuff. And of course we know that the system is rigged, the media is, all that stuff.
We don't know that. We stop saying that. We know that. Stop.
The media is.
I totally agree. I totally agree. But I will tell you that he's not talking about that. He's talking about election day, the polls, it's all rigged. And even his own guys, Marco Rubio is like, shut up, you're being an idiot. Newt Gingrich, shut up, you're being an idiot. Day after day, more Republicans come out and go, hey, Trump, shut up.
It's not enough. Whatever he's talking about is certainly not enough to affect the election. The country's too big and too broad. I mean, there are instances. We should have voter ID cards. We really should. That's a disgrace. It's so stupid that we don't. But it's politically incorrect to say that we should have them, and so we don't have them.
I will say this. I was really excited about the first. We both were at Hofstra University, and the world was. It was a big deal.
That was the last time it was fun, believe it or not.
It was great. and he got beat so badly that I was looking forward to the second one to see if he can come back. Now, I do believe he came back, but I just don't believe he was nearly as good as you do. It doesn't matter. My point is, with the third one tomorrow night, I've got zero excitement.
Oh,
he can't.
No, I got
huge
none. Excitement.
I got
Look,
none.
He's got nothing to lose. And here's the thing, too. Let me just put I'm looking forward to this as well. If he loses the election, and I'm not throwing in the towel yet, I'm still, keeping hope alive.
Right.
But if he loses,
makes you loyal but stupid.
Listen.
Sorry.
You talk about unshackled.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the rampage he's going to go on post-election?
Wow.
He's going to take.
Who's going to be listening, though?
Everybody's going to be.
And it's the Trump TV network?
The media will be right back to paying attention to everything he says, every attack he makes on Republicans and Republican commentators.
Maybe. Because at that point he becomes that TV guy again, which is more fun than a presidential candidate.
He will then be truly unshackled. So it's going to be like a Charlie Sheen tour.
Maybe.
Post-election.
We have
that to look forward to.
Are you looking forward to tomorrow night's debate with nearly the same anticipation as the first two?
Yeah, I think so. Because you just don't know, with Donald Trump in there, you just don't know what's going to happen.
That's not the answer. That's not the answer he wanted to hear.
No, that's fine.
You wanted to hear that?
Being
Totally
honest.
bored.
No, he's being honest.
He's being honest.
Look, he's voting for Hillary. He doesn't care. He knows Donald Trump, no matter what he says to him, he can't win the election. So he's like, who cares? Let him rip. Let him have a great time. He's going to lose anyway.
But it's going to be a good. It's going to be a no holds barred, and Trump's got to be substantial, but he does have to get in a couple of attacks.
He does, and she can't just sit there. She can't think that she can just float there and float through the debate.
Absolutely
no.
can.
She's got to slug back.
In fact, I would advise her not to slug back and let him hit me a couple
if
times.
If she looks like she's
smirking, that's it.
If she looks like she's on Thorazine or something like that, that will not bode well.
Well, that's
for
the
her.
other extreme. But
or if he's sniffing all
I
night.
would do a lot of smirking and a lot of laughing and a lot of that annoying giggle. Let him get out what he has to get out. You're right. The Thorazine's the other extreme. But if I'm her, I'm not going to continue to trade punches with the guy. Let him punch himself out.
1-800-848-9222. Back after Noam with the news.
77 WABC.
I think we should take a drug test prior to the debate. Why don't we do that? We should take a drug test prior, because I don't know what's going on with her.
All right, Donald Trump wants a drug test before the debate, which, of course, is coming up live from Las Vegas tomorrow night. Continuing coverage all day long here and tomorrow here on WABC. And Bernard and I will have a guest or two on tomorrow that will break it down for you, the third and final debate. And once that's over, folks, about 17 or 18 more days to the actual election. Curtis and Kubi coming up in about 16 minutes. We'll grab some phone calls. Here is Rich. He's in Jersey City. Good morning, Rich. You're on with Bernie and Sid.
Sid, I gotta say, I love you.
Love you too.
But that was not funny. Colbert wasn't funny, but that's not the issue.
I don't think Colbert is funny either. I thought that Obama was funny.
No, he wasn't. And he talks about. I'm just saying that he talks about.
Listen, just so you know, just hold this up here. Bernard will agree that Barack Obama is funny.
He can be funny.
He's got good timing.
That was not funny. Okay. And going on Colbert and bragging about your honorary degrees. Does he bring his participation trophies from when he was in Little League still? I mean, when he was in the...
No, that was just a joke so we can set up the whole bit with the Nobel Peace Prize where he even admitted in very self-deprecating fashion he has no idea why he got it.
But he's the president of the United States. He shouldn't be doing those things. He should not be doing this.
It's all academic at this point.
Right, and who do you want to be the next president?
Well, who do I want? Bobby Jindal, but Donald Trump.
Okay, so you're going to tell me that Barack Obama shouldn't be doing those things, going on late night shows when your candidate is built 19 months around TV nonsense? Really?
Well, no, that's actually, he was running. That's a little different. I mean, you could make a case that Obama should be in the White House working. I mean, they got this big offensive in Mosul, and he's out there campaigning and doing late night TV show. You can make an argument. But listen, I'm not going to. And I will. Obama has good comedic timing. He does a White House Correspondents' Dinner. In which he was funnier than that creep Larry Wilmore.
Yes, he was.
For God's sake. So yeah, he is
also funnier than Seth Meyers a couple years ago.
And he's a likable guy. I mean, I know a lot of people hate his guts and they hate to hear me even say that. But
you're right, though.
He's a likable guy.
You're right.
And as the years go by, people are going to warm. They're going to warm up to him a lot more, which happens often.
Almost every president,
Richard
right?
Nixon, yes. Even Richard Nixon, who I loved I never lost my affinity for Richard Nixon. He came back in the public eye. People were like, he was sitting at Knicks games. People kind of like.
It's kind of like when somebody dies, right, Bernard? All of a sudden, they weren't as bad. You always find something, which I'm okay with, something nice to say. And I think Michael Beschloss or Goodwin, one of them, said this. Almost every time they write the book about the president years later, people like him more. I mean, even Bush.
That's true. But Obama is actually, except when he's talking about, don't get on your high horse about the ISIS cutting off Christian people's heads. Remember what they did back in the Crusades? When he's not being a snotty, condescending dude like that, he can be charming. Yeah. Cynthia from Long Island, you're on with Bernie and Sid on WABC. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning. I think you guys make a great team, and I want to just make two comments, and then you can respond. First of all, Hillary goes into clubs to hiding all the time. I'm pretty sure she's getting some kind of a drip, some kind of something. I mean, he's onto something when he says about drugs, but she's getting some kind of a drip to get her energy up, to help her brain to continue to work.
Well, before you continue, I will say this. Trump has been on the stump the last couple of days and rehearsing, practicing for the debate, and Hillary Clinton has been, quote-unquote, at home prepping, unquote.
Yeah, but she's talking. But she's saying, I mean, not long before the first debate, she was like on death's door, right? And then she came out there that first debate, and she was spry. So I mean, So I said, right. I hear you.
She needs to rest, and they're giving her some kind of glucose or something to keep her brain working. I don't know. The other comment
or crystal meth or something. Right. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say a crack whore, but some sort of amphetamine. Yeah.
There's definitely something going on. The other thing is, as much as I would love to see Trump in office, I'm scared to death that if he does win, the government, the federal government, somebody is going to knock him off just like they did Kennedy. I'd rather see him not win just to save his life because I think he's that cool of a guy, and he speaks from the cuff. I mean, I'm like that too. I have a big mouth. I open my mouth. I say things out of line. People say, "Oh, how can you say that?" Because it's true.
That's absolutely been part of his appeal. His candor, his shoot from the hip, say what's on your mind. And sometimes it's worked against him, obviously, as we know.
Well, I mean, because I'm the same type of guy, Cynthia. I mean, Vaughn can tell you that. We've been friends and worked together for 20 years. I say exactly what's on my mind. But every now and then I say something really stupid. I just do. And he says a lot of things that are stupid, quite frankly.
Daryl from Brooklyn, you're on with Bernie and Sid on WABC. Good morning, Daryl.
Yeah, good morning. I just want to say something about what Sid said earlier about Melania Trump being an idiot. That shit was
I never called her an idiot. When did I call her an idiot?
Highly disrespectful, man.
What?
Highly disrespectful.
When did I call her an idiot, Daryl? Produce that tape. It's nice to call a radio show and accuse somebody. When did I said she probably shouldn't talk, but when did I call her an idiot?
I think he may have. He thinks he heard you say it sometime this morning, but
no, never said it. So thanks.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. Melania Trump is not an idiot. It sounded like he was in the trunk of a car. So I hope Eddie from Brooklyn is okay. And Eddie, by the way, I thank you. I agree with you.
That was Daryl.
I think Daryl. Excuse me. Yeah. Melania is an asset and should be out on the trail and should speak more. She's a brilliant lady, speaks 5 languages.
She's not a brilliant lady.
English is a very difficult language.
Brilliant lady. She's a model.
For a foreigner to master.
Please.
And she does just fine. Ed from Paramus, Sid. Ed wants to get in on the Bernie and Sid talk. Ed, good morning, Ed.
Sure. Just want to get this off my chest, all this, talk about voter fraud and everything like that. I'm a witness to how it's done, okay? Back in 2009, when Chris Christie won, I was sent into one of the districts that voted against him 9-1, okay? And when I was, not GOP territory, when I was there, the other party let people in who were blind, illiterate. They told me where, what address to look for their name, right? So then the next check of their identification would have been their signature. The pages, the voting rolls were loaded with pages of people that all they did was sign with an X.
Right.
That's the only way I could check. That's the only way I could check if they were really who they were. And what could I do with an X?
Listen, it's run by, you have these voting places, venues. They're run by volunteers, old people who don't know what the hell they're doing. They do it once every 2 years, or maybe once every 4 years. People don't need voter ID cards. You have immigrants voting, dead people voting. You have people voting 9 times. It happens. Does it happen on a wide enough scale to affect a national election?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Probably not, but still.
It does happen. And you're right, they should have voter ID cards, 100%. But the
that's racist. That's racist what you just said.
I know it is.
Which is totally
stupid.
Absolutely. And that's but by the way, the person who you want to win the election, she agrees with that sentiment. That it's racist to say to make people have voter ID cards. She agrees with that. That's what part of the disgusting aspect of having Hillary Clinton win is that if you say stuff like that, political correct mentality is coming into the White House. Political correctness will be now enthroned because Donald Trump was defeated. He was giving it the big middle finger.
He was the other extreme.
And now he got smacked.
He was the other extreme. He was an idiot. And by the way, nothing's going to change in my life. I'm going to be on the radio. I'm going to say what I've said all these years. years. Hillary Clinton's not going to shut me down, not going to fire me, not going to shut down WABC. If I hear one more time you guys talk about political correctness out the door, like all of us have to change the way we speak in our lives, I'm going to puke. It's nonsense. Nonsense. And you know it is, because you're going to be the same funny, entertaining, hilarious Bernard McGurk you've been for 30 years, no matter who's president.
You don't know what's coming.
Yes,
man.
you do.
You don't know what's
Being
coming
silly.
with these people.
The exaggerations with Trump, whether it's getting blown up, we're all going to die tomorrow, we can't be politically incorrect anymore.
It's not good. It's not as dramatic
please.
as that. It's not as it's insidious. It's in some cases subliminal, but it's insidious and it takes time. But this is how it starts. And it's been going on. Political correctness. We know it's been going on. It's stifling free speech. You have comedians who are afraid to go onto college campuses and actually deliver jokes.
I know of one, Milo Yiannopoulos.
No, you have Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld. They won't go on college campuses. They will not go there. And that's what's coming into society in general. If you speak, even if you a Trump supporter, you heard Bill Maher, you're a racist. Bill Maher, if you support Trump, it's that kind of political correctness that is coming.
Well,
it's
Bill
coming
Maher,
here. And
Bill
it's going to be. It's going to be again. It's going to be sanctioned by Hillary Clinton getting elected to the White House, and it's a pretty sad day, in my opinion. Are you sad? I'm going to cry.
No, I'm fine. I'd be sad either way. I'm going to be sad whether she wins. I mean, it's not like either one of these people win. It's going to be a great day for America. I mean, the truth is, no matter how enthusiastic WABC callers are, and most numbers of everything else, no matter, we lose that day. We lose. So it's up to you to think who we lose more with. You think you lose more with Hillary. I think Donald. But either way, we lose.
Ed from New Jersey said that he was working in a polling booth when Christie won in 2000, but he won in 2010.
2010, yeah. So he missed by 10 years.
And Governor Christie, by the way, we had a clip this morning. He's jumping off the Trump train. He's one of the rats.
He did weeks ago, actually.
You don't want to be in a foxhole with Fatso, believe me when I tell you, because it's 3 weeks left.
There's not enough room.
Nobody should.
What do you mean? There's not enough room in a foxhole with him anyway.
That's partially what I meant.
You would suffocate.
Back on Bernie and Sid after this.
77.
Back on Bernie and Sid on the eve of the big third debate from Las Vegas. We have a big show lined up for tomorrow. High-profile guests and Curtis and Kuby all over it. They're up next.